Deborah, look at you all prettied up.
Hello. I don't know.
Hello. at 5:01 p.m. And I need a roll call, Mr. Foster. Mr. Barton. Mr. Bajaro. Mrs. Evans. Mr. Foster is present. Mrs. Lancaster is absent today. Mr. McLaughlin. Present. And Mr. Stone. Present. Pledge of allegiance and bear pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will be prepared to lead, expect excellence, accept responsibility for our actions, respect ourselves, each other, and our district, stay focused on safety and learning. And subject C is the approval of the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda as presented. So moved. Support. Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Bajaro. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. New business. Budget presentation.
That's me.
Got you?
All right, so take one and pass it down. So we are going to start with the fiscal year ending of the 24-25. So once everybody has theirs. Okay. So on the very first page, when we open it up, we have the 4 columns. We have the 2023, 2024, the final actual audited numbers. And then we have our 24-25 original budget, the amended, and then the final. So first of all, we have on top is our revenue lines, and they consist of our local, state, federal. We started the school year with 1,351 in kids, 1,351. We ended the school year with 1,372, which was an addition of 21 more kids. So we did have a little bit of an increase in the revenues. You'll see that on the state line, the vast majority of that was due to grants that were in previous years that we extended and we used up the rest of the money. So even though our revenue lines is higher, we also have the expenditure line is going to match so those cancel themselves out, 1-for-1 match. Federal funds it's definitely a decrease from the 23-24, and that is because mainly of the ESSER being gone. And federal, we'll see in the 25-26 budget that we're basically going to be left with title funds is all that's going to be left from the federal, unless there's anything more that's going to come out that we can apply for. But as of right now, I've heard of nothing on the federal side. So we're going to be limited to title funds, which is a little bit of a downer. So then you'll see the total expenditures that we have. And there's another page where we'll go in and talk more about the expenditures. So the difference between the revenue and expenditures, you'll see that we spent more than we took in by the 195,000. And then we have our the transfers from the other financial sources. That is from the food service, because we allocate out the cost of electricity, water to the food service, and it ends up being a lump sum that we do each year. And in this case, it's going to be 80,000, unless there's a different revision that comes from the state. They tell us a percentage, And as of right now, that's based off of last year's percentage. I haven't gotten the new, so it's a budget.
So this could change.
It could change. So you'll see the beginning fund balance was the 5.9, and then our ending is going to be 5.8. Your ending unrestricted, what we do is we take your technology budget, because we can't touch that. That has to stay. And then also the prepaid, you'll see, is definitely increased. The prepaids is all of our curriculum that we bought, because we can't expense it out until it's being used in the years in which it's been purchased. So a lot of the curriculum was 6 years, so we're going to expense it out each year. So it's going to be little bit by little bit, which is actually a good thing, but we are going to be paying for it up front. So you've spent the money, but we're just going to allocate it out year by year. And if everything hopefully comes in the way after audit, would be sitting at a fund balance of 27%.
That's very good.
So we'll
Beautiful.
hopefully everything ends.
Hopefully.
I am hopeful.
Can you put a percentage?
The audit has started.
What are you looking at, ladies? What's the hopefully percentage look like?
A percentage of the hopefully?
You know what I mean? Can
I
you
think it's high.
I think
say that?
It's going to be close.
we're going to be close. There's just some things that we're still left cleaning up, trying to get our arms around. Extenuating circumstances that have happened. So
I also saw that with the federal funding from the state, that with the whole federal funding changing and the ed department changing, going away or whatever, some more funds are gonna go to the state, so those will be allocated differently, which hopefully.
that is a
Good.
possibility. I do have that down on my notes when we talk about the 25, 26 and how I've guesstimated. I like to call it guesstimated budget. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we get to that budget.
Well, let's say the hopefully isn't there. Do we have an idea in our mind how much we might be looking extra at? Is there a number you guys have in your head?
No, I think we're going to have.
So you're hopeful, is confident.
My hopeful is pretty confident.
Okay.
All right, so if we go to the next page, we have our expenditures. But really, it's hard to see. Okay, so same setup on the top. And then you will see we did have an increase on the elementary side for what was the difference between what was audited last year and what our final is. It was an increase of 25%, and majority of that is the ESSER free playground money that we did for all the playgrounds. And then all the dirt and all the, everything that went with that. We also had the shifting of elementary, we had the shifting going from the middle school to north. We took the grade, right?
Yes.
The grade. So you had the shifting of those expenditures for the teachers going
Yes.
over to north. So that was another portion of it. And then there was desks and a lot of other miscellaneous supplies that had to be purchased for north in order to make north have the fifth grade.
Yeah.
So then respectively, you see the middle school was a decrease of 9%. So that's explains your teachers. High school pretty much stayed flat. It was just a 2% change. So that's really nothing to talk about there. Preschool and summer school was just a negative 1%. So nothing really change-wise from last year. The added needs was a little bit of an increase. It was 9%. And a lot of that had to do with the welding equipment, getting the welding room back up and running and finishing up that. So there was expenditures in there. You'll see the support services for pupil and staff pretty much were even, they were flat. And when we get to general administration, you will see that there was a decrease of 21%. And I'm not 100% sure why, but it was a reduction in the board of education costs with superintendent costs. So,
See,
so she's not really costing us that much money.
a little girl.
She was
She
good.
doesn't travel or go buy a steak.
I kept her in check.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was a full-time job.
I didn't buy any furniture for my office.
She did not buy any furniture for her office. She did not. She's a good girl.
I did not make any changes.
Business services and, oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back to school administration. Sorry, I skipped. It was an increase of 17%. Some of this, vast majority of this was due to paying out the remainder of contracts for terminated employees. And so next, that's going to leave us with the business services and operations maintenance. Those were minimal changes. The pupil transportation, we all know that it's up 24% due to the increase of purchasing of our buses. The communication, HR, tech, pupil, we bought smart boards. We spent lots of money,
Real one?
real smart boards. So we spent lots of money on technology, which that was the huge thing, and that was needed. There was definitely no way around it. It was needed for the curriculum. It had to be done. Athletics just saw a slight increase, and there was increase in the referees, the umpires, all of those increased drastically actually for this year. And those are set by the MHSAA. We do not set those fees. We just have to abide, pay the rules, the fees in which they tell us.
Just curious, how much is it, you know? Can you mind if I send an email later?
I don't know, I can make a note.
Sure.
I'd have to get with the Epler because I don't, is there a certain sport? Because I would assume each.
Are you wanting the increase of the basketball referees and volleyball refs and umpires? Yeah, they all went up. Yeah. Epler can get that. She could send it.
Yeah.
She knows it off
Give
the
us a
top of her head.
breakdown.
Sure.
I don't think we could do anything about it, but it would be nice to know.
Yeah.
So we are down to community services. And I will be a little honest, I am not 100% sure why we have increased as much as we have. This line is primarily for Cub Care. So the couple of the EduStaff bills that I did look at, there is overtime hours, so I don't know if it's staffing issues. It's on my notes.
Is
for
it?
things to look into?
Could it also be like some of the events that we did for like the weekend event to get the community in, stuff like that? Would that have been in there?
Very
Yeah,
minimal of
that was
that. Most of
5,000.
it was,
Okay.
yeah, most of it was the, so like my EduStaff for Cup Care was 318,000, but when I look at my Cup Care receipts, it was 282. So that's a difference of about 36,000. So I don't know,
Yeah.
So 70.
Be a
Yeah,
bear.
there's a
about
little-
$5,000.
but for, at least for Cup Care. So the rest of that, so of the 370, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Of the 370 that was spent, that's on the final budget, 318 of that was EduStaff bills from Cup Care. And then the money that we took in was 282, which that's the difference of 36,000. So I don't honestly know yet. It's on my list to look into. And maybe there's more receipts that haven't been reported.
I don't know.
I don't know. The facility improvements, that's gonna be our middle school air conditioning, the rec center air conditioning, and the lockout system. And so then we have our total expenditures.
So that's really the main area that caused that's like that $500,000 threshold from amended to final is that area?
There's little parts all
Okay.
throughout.
Okay.
So if we go to the next one, we're going to talk about the food service. So same exact layout. We have roughly the 1.4 in revenue, which is pretty much in line. Expenditures is pretty close. She did do some a little bit higher end food choices that we did throughout the year, which was, she did get approval from us in the first place. But
Way better than what we used to have.
We've really embarked on student voice, like the things that the kids enjoy, and like there's a lot of things that instead of just following the same boring menu over and over, some of the things that the kids were asking for, especially at the secondary level, we were more than okay with. Like we need to offer some more choices because when we went to like the Mesa conference, there's other food service companies that they pride themselves on like the fresh, they call it fresh cooking and like cooking raw chicken, you know, instead of stuff that was already previously cooked and you just warm it, you know, vice versa, whatever. And so we met with Miss Brown and went over the different things, and she was more than excited to be able to serve our kids more different choices and expose them to different cultural foods and just a lot better choices. So we're moving in a good direction on that.
you will see that we, for the food service expenditure spend downs, we spend down 464,000. We have more to spend down. Things that were bought was the Polar King, the big walk-in freezer over at North, salad bars at North and Middle, serving bars, rolling coolers, replacements of smallwares, convection ovens for each of the buildings. Then, of course, the cafe tables for all the buildings, that was this, and dishwasher. I mean, there was a list of them, but just give you a few examples. And I do have another list that I'll talk to you about in the other budget. So with that being said, she will be basically down to 118,000. And we do need to keep in 400,000 at all times because the state requires us to keep 3 months of payment in the fund balance for that, for this month.
Did you mean 1.8 million? You said 118,000?
818,000.
800.
I'm sorry, 818.
Nope, you're good.
So that is food service. And then we get to sinking fund. So sinking fund, the money comes from taxpayers. So it was 932,000 for our expenditures was the 1.1. Things that we purchased was all the buildings got, certain rooms in all the buildings got new carpeting. I don't want to say all buildings got new carpeting because that's not true. But I believe they work with the principals and then they tell them which rooms need it first, and then there's a priority list. And we do have more rooms that are going to be done this summer. It's like a little pecking order.
We're coming on Monday for measurements.
Yes. The bleacher project, the athletic complex, the ventilation in the welding room, the masonry on all the buildings where they fixed the cement, the middle school and rec air conditioning, the high school generator. Not all of it was allowed to be in food service for the high school generator. Some of it was. The generator itself was purchased in food service. And the asphalt for underneath the track, the down payments is in here, but the rest of it will be when they finish it, so that'll be in the next budget. So our ending fund balance for sinking is gonna be roughly 1.4, 1.396. Next, we've got the recreation center, recreation revenue. And so we have rec revenue. I actually have it down as of from last year. We're only at 620,000. Expenditures, she was at 695,000. She did the new sound system, the upholstery foam on the walls, the resurfacing of the JRC gym, the rec center gym, and
No, she had some flooring.
she did have flooring done. And I wrote down the track will be coming out of this, but there is no down payment yet. So none of that has hit this yet. So then she's sitting at an ending fund balance of 729,000.
How much of the track is coming out of the rec center?
150,000.
115.
150. And then she does like to, she's worried about the pool. Because if the pool goes or there's, so 300,000 is what
Yeah.
she's told me that she wants to keep in there
At all times.
at all times.
At all times.
Tax system.
Yeah, just to keep that, that's the amount of money that she wants to keep, that if anything ever happened to the pool. Yeah,
Worst case, it would be,
yeah,
since the pool's the big draw.
Absolutely.
So that concludes the recreation fund. And then the last page is student activity. And those are just internal accounts. Those are, each building has their own account. Each class has their accounts.
It's like fundraising.
Yeah, fundraising and that, so there's nothing really to talk on that. Take one pass down. Alright, so same setup. We'll start with, so to Corey's point about the revenue for next year. There's so many questions at the state level. For instance, will the state be absorbing what the federal was or not? Is 31A gonna keep the same dollar amount per pupil? Is 31AA gonna even come back? And then we have everything that has to do with the MeepSers and the healthcare reimbursement. Is that gonna stay? Is it gonna go away? Along with even our MeepSers normal cost offset that the state provides us. All those are kind of in question. So I was a little conservative on the revenue. And then obviously this doesn't include any grants that we have already applied for but have not heard, because all that is being held up at the state. They have not released anything due to the state not releasing their budget yet. So we're in a holding pattern right now, which I don't know if this is normal.
It is.
it is, normally fall.
They want their stuff in.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to get their stuff in right now.
So I do have the revenues at 20 million. I have total expenditures at 21 million, which is obviously going to be a loss of 1.2. So hopefully either our expenditures won't come in as high or we get more grants in order to
More students.
get more grants is my thing. So, and I did base the revenue per pupil, and I did reflect the 86 students that Amy said were coming. We got, so that's a positive. Helps make up for the loss of some of the grants that we don't know that we have yet.
Where's that number at? It's just built in here, you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it. I thought maybe you had it separate. I'm like,
No.
Okay.
No, so it actually would be part of the state revenue. So if we go to expenditures. For the most part, what I did was looked at what we did this year and then based it on, added some because we did raises on a lot of the groups. So increase for the wages and kept most of it essentially the same. I did decrease, I dropped down for the bus purchases because we're not going to purchase 4 new buses. So I dropped that down to 1 bus, which Jody and I need to talk still on that. There is a decrease in, like, obviously I didn't take into account the playground equipment that was purchased last year. So I pulled that out of the budget for the 25-26. And I did increase for the elementary and middle school for the instructional assistants and paraprofessionals, which Amy and I need to sit down and talk this summer as to what it's going to look like in each building, if that's going to be enough or if that's too much. But we have to look at our pupils first before we can make that final decision. For the added needs, I did increase for special education needs. So I increased the budget for 300,000. And for the most part, kept the rest of it pretty close to the same. So that would be our 25-26 expenditures.
It almost lines up with 25.
Yeah, it's pretty close. So our food service revenue, food service fund, basically kind of kept it the same type of scenario. She did already give me her wish list, and we have started getting pricing on things for her spend down. She would like a Polar King, the big walk-in freezer for the high school, more storage cabinets, merchandising fridge, garden bar sets, gravity fed warmers. I don't know what that means, but basically more new equipment to replace a lot of the old stuff that's just worn down. Yogurt machines and new prep tables, and we're still
Frozen yogurt machines. Extremely important to note.
Gross.
Frozen yogurt.
Can I have actual dairy ice?
But this is healthy choices with toppings for children, some granola and fresh fruit. Delightful.
We know where Amy's gonna be.
Yeah. I'll look so skinny.
So if we do spend down as much as what she's liking, then we'll have an ending fund balance of 623,000. So we'll see how we come in on that one.
Where do they want us again? I forget how much we have.
400,000. Yeah, but apparently there's been no spend down happening the last
No,
4 meetings. So
the spin down has to be spent.
yeah,
Yes, it
spend down
does.
has to be
And
spent.
we weren't spending.
No.
In lots of areas, not just food service.
So that's the food service.
Calm down. You're not.
Don't get me going.
The sinking fund, our revenue stays the same. Or thereabouts, it's roughly always the same. Expenditures, I've got at 1.4 million. There, we need to finish the asphalt underneath the track, finish the middle and rec center air conditioning. There's the asphalt or blacktop that Jody wants to do over at, is that what it's?
The seal coating?
Seal coating over at the rec center and then behind like the rec area, all those
Yeah, and all
spots.
the new stuff we are gonna get sealed.
Yeah, so Jody has a huge long list,
And then I think he's got stuff in there for redoing some manholes.
some main holes,
Mhm.
yep. So that should,
We want to do behind North as well.
yes,
we're gonna-
and north, behind north is an
We're
issue.
utilizing behind North now for drop off and pickup. Everybody, that was a big
That
announcement.
was working.
Pardon?
Not yet.
No, for the fall.
So you'll be able to strike it and
It'll be just for the parents who'll be dropping their kids off at the buses, right?
No, buses will remain in the front.
Front,
Yeah.
'cause it's not rated for that.
Yes.
That's gonna be drop off and pick up maybe.
Yes. The kids will be arriving through the cafeteria doors and then dismissed through cafeteria. Because they're gonna start eating breakfast in the cafeteria. Yeah. We needed to make a shift, a very quick change. Yeah. I spent some time over there watching,
Me too.
not well.
So if we do end up spending that much, we'd be down to 889,000 in our fund balance for the sinking fund, which that does 932 or 930 some will go into next year. And the recreation fund is next. So she has for the middle school and the high school gyms to be redone, flooring to be redone. And then she's got another list of things that she would like to have with the cameras, security cameras.
Mhm.
What else she had? And then something with the dugout areas for baseball, softball.
yeah,
The,
Speaker system?
is that what, maybe?
They just got Wi-Fi out there.
Yeah,
And so we want to add more speakers. They can have like announcers. Better.
so that'll be in.
And music.
for this budget
Music.
also.
Yeah.
So that'll be in this budget also.
I hear you're applying. You're gonna be the announcer out there for baseball.
So if she does spend all of that, she'd be looking at 658,000 would be left in her fund balance, in the recreation fund. And then student activity is the very last page, which,
Stays the same about.
yeah. That's what I have.
Oh,
Beautiful.
we're doing, air conditioning at the rec center too, you said?
Yes,
That's those units being replaced in the office?
the office and then also in the back, workout rooms.
What are they putting mini splits in?
Okay, so you're over my,
Is that what they're putting in?
I think so, yeah.
No,
They
just
need it.
not.
Yeah. They're super hot.
Okay, any questions for Deb?
Very good job.
Good job. Healthy.
Well done.
Looks very healthy.
They're very healthy. Until the bond passes.
you can take one of those.
Sessions.
I promised you guys those.
Motion to move into closed session for the purpose of negotiations per section 8C of the Michigan Open Meetings Act.
So moved.
Mr. McLaughlin,
Support.
Mr. Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Foster.
Can you give me a roll call, Shane?
Mr. Barton. Mr. Bajaro.
Yes.
Mrs. Evans. Foster, yes. Mr. McLaughlin.
Yes.
Mr. Stump.
Yes. I lost myself. We are gonna go into closed session now for negotiations at 5:36 PM. Can you mute?
Okay, we're unmuted.
Okay, we're back into general session and moving on to citizens. We have,
You have anything
we have two
written?
written.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna read the first letter. It's from Miss Brooke Payment. Thank you all for this amazing scholarship. I am truly honored to be selected for this. Your support means so much to me as I begin my journey to become a registered nurse. Thank you again for your generosity. This was in regards to the board scholarship that Brooke, Miss Payment was awarded. And then we had one more. This was written by Mr. Andrew Hintz. He says, thank you for the Board of Education scholarship. I will put it to good use as I start my college career at the University of Toledo. I am very thankful for all my years at Jefferson, and I will always be proud to be a Jefferson Bear. That was Mr. Andrew Hintz. Very, very, very nice. Thank you. Any other communication? None? No.
Okay. Closing comments from administration? Anything for this one? You're good? Board, any closing comments for this meeting?
Just excellent job on the budget.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent job. Great job.
We'll see
Great
that.
job
We'll see.
helping.
We'll see after the
We'll
audit.
see that.
Great job helping do nothing for them.
Hopefully, we'll see after the audit.
Yeah, I'll talk to you after the audit.
Yeah, talk to me after the audit.
Okay. Motion to move the budget hearing be adjourned.
So move.
Mr. McLaughlin,
Support.
supported by Mr. Rogero. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 6-0, and we are adjourned at 5:55 until 6 p.m.
Please hit me up.
We offer those
We're gonna call this meeting to order at 6 PM. And can I get a roll call, Mr. Foster? Mr. Martin. Mr. Bajaro. Mrs. Evans.
Present.
Mr. Foster, I'm here. Ms. Lancaster is absent. Mr. McLaughlin.
Present.
Mr. Stone. Present. Pledge of allegiance and bear pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will be prepared to lead, expect excellence, accept responsibility for our actions, respect ourselves, each other, and our district, stay focused on safety and learning.
Subject C, motion to approve the agenda as presented. Mr. McLaughlin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, motion carries 6-0. Citizens, anything, Shane?
We have none.
Okay. Any written communication?
We have none.
Subject C, report of the superintendent.
All right, we have a resignation for high school special education teacher Carson Delbin. Resigned effective June 12th, 2025. Jarrett Seabaum, middle school teacher, resigned effective June 12th, 2025. Emily Swears, middle school PE teacher, resigned effective 6/12/2025. Amanda Powers, high school counselor, resigned 6/30/2025. Terry Young, custodian, retiring effective June 30th, 2025. Super congratulations to Terry. Yeah, yep. We have bond information. Can I go to that? Subject B?
It's your update.
Okay. Barton Mallow will be at the COW meeting on July 17th to give an update on the bond. I have some notes here from, we just met with them. We had a Zoom meeting this week. Deb, myself, and Jody. It's a team of 5, so I wanted to let the community know that we have moved forward with Barton Mallow as our construction management company for the upcoming bond work. Important work is underway behind the scenes to help us plan for the future of our facilities. Here's an update on the steps that have recently taken place. Facilities and the partnership has been initiated. Jefferson School District has partnered with Barton Mallow to conduct a comprehensive assessment of our school facilities. The building walkthroughs have already been completed. Last week, Barton Mallow toured all of the buildings to identify critical, near-term, and long-term facility needs. So they're able to break down what things that we need immediately and what things that can wait and hold off. The project list is still in development. Based on their walkthroughs, a draft list of the recommended improvement projects is currently being developed, and that will be gone over with Jody and presented to all of you here at the board. The funding exploration is underway. As most people know, Jefferson has never had a bond. So we've never asked the community for a bond. Many of the identified improvements are significant infrastructure needs that exceed the school's operational budget. That's one of the reasons why we maintain such a healthy fund balance. Some people might wonder why ours is so high, and the reason for that is for further protection for the district, because with respect to our facilities and how the age of them, if anything was to happen, we need to remain conservative to make sure that we have that opportunity to use our fund balance if, God forbid, something happened, obviously, to our infrastructures of our buildings, between the sinking fund and the fund balance that we have. Consideration of a bond proposal due to the way schools are funded in Michigan. The school district is exploring a bond proposal as the only viable option for completing large-scale improvements. So we are going to start that process. The next steps in the process, once the draft project list is finalized, the school district will share the information with the community through focus panels and a district-wide survey. We will also gather and review community feedback. We'll create teams, not just staff, but community members as a whole, to bring them in and have those groups and discussion. And then we're going to refine the proposed plan accordingly. So after we have focus groups and we're all talking about this, of what the needs are, once we have that priority done by Barton Mallow of the needs assessment and also the near term and far terms, all those things. At that point, we'll be able to discuss, obviously, what amount we're going to go for based on mills. 1, 2 mil, whatever it is. 3 mil, whatever it is. Yes. Yes, because we will need some significant improvements. So through the guidance of Barton Malow, we will be able to do that. So this process is designed to ensure that the final proposal reflects the needs of our schools as well as the input from the Jefferson community. So it's a very much so a community thing. We will ask staff to be involved as well as community members and help us go through what the needs are and make sure that everybody understands from a fiscal standpoint the impact, not just them as a family, as taxpayers, but also what we're looking to do to better our facilities for our students. And right now we have plenty that we need to do better, and our kids deserve it. So we appreciate the support moving forward, and we look forward to further communication much sooner than later. And I'd like for the community to know, and obviously board, you guys know, but our date for the election will be May of 26. 25. August 26.
August.
Yeah, 25.
August
26.
August
Amy.
26th.
Woo. It was May. We moved it out of respect for the ISD. Yes, Tech Village, yes. I know, it's been a long day. Yes. Yes, we
It
do.
is August.
It is August. Thank you. That's my numbers lady over there. Love her. Yes. And that's it for me right now.
Is that for you right now? Okay.
Yes.
Moving on to Director of Business and Finance. In your board docs, you received the check registry. Any questions on check registry? Purchasing card. Questions on the purchasing card? Moving on to new business. Motion to receive the recommendation of the Committee of a Whole regarding the payment of the general fund bills. Mr. Barton. Supported by Mr. McLaughlin. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject B is the approval of the minutes. Motion to approve the minutes for May of 2025. Ms. Evans?
Support.
Mr. Foster? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject C is the hiring of Jessica Click, North Elementary second grade teacher. Motion to approve Jessica Click as a second grade teacher at North Elementary effective for the 25-26 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189 1230B requirements. Corey, supported by Mr. Barton. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Is she here?
She is not here.
Okay.
No. She is coming to us from Ida.
Ida?
Ida.
Subject D is the hiring of Brenna McCullough, middle school science teacher. Motion to approve Brenna McCullough as a middle school science teacher effective for the 25-26 school year. Is it Brianna? I'm sorry. Brianna McCullough. Pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189 1230B requirements.
Motion.
Mr. Bajaro. Who was the support? Shane?
Shane.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Here?
Not here. No, Brianna is not here. No, but she is, will be a first year teacher for us. Yes.
Subject E is the hiring of Stacy Nordstrom, high school special education teacher. Motion to approve Stacy Nordstrom as a high school special education teacher effective for the 25-26 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check, Public Act 189 1230B requirements. Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Barton. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
I don't know if she's related to Mr. Bruce, too.
I don't know. It's a good question.
No, she is not here.
Subject F is hiring of Alyssa Painter, North Elementary second grade teacher. Motion to approve Alyssa Painter as a second grade teacher at North Elementary effective for the 25-26 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189-1230B requirements.
So moved.
Mr. McLaughlin? Ms. Evans? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
She is also not here, and she is joining us from Monroe Public Schools.
Subject G, hiring of Bruce Pickens, middle school ELA teacher. Motion to approve Bruce Pickens as a middle school ELA teacher effective for the 25-26 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189-1230B requirements.
So moved.
Corey, was that you? Support? Okay, any discussion?
Yeah, welcome back.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
He is here.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Thank you. Welcome.
Subject H is the hiring of Carly Smith, high school counselor. Motion to approve Carly Smith as a high school counselor effective for the 25-26 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189-1230B requirements.
Support.
Mr. Barton, supported by Mr. Pajaro. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
No.
Subject I is the hiring of Joshua Schneider, middle school ELA teacher. Motion to approve Joshua Schneider as a middle school ELA teacher effective 25-26 school year. New employee paperwork has been completed and satisfied.
So moved.
Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Foster. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject J is the hiring of Stephen Walters, middle school physical education teacher. Motion to approve Stephen Walters as a middle school physical education teacher effective for the 25-26 school year, pending satisfactory completion of the criminal history check and Public Act 189-1230B requirements.
Move.
Mr. Pajaro? Evans? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. You here? No.
He's not here.
Okay.
He is also a returning,
Returning teacher?
yeah, he worked here before.
Okay. Subject K, upward bound student summer field trips. Motion to approve a request for Ms. Crosley for upward bound students to travel to the following destinations. June 27th, 2025, Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio. July 25th, 2025, Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. July 28th through the 31st, 2025, cultural trip in Chicago, Illinois.
So moved. Support.
Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Pajaro. Any discussion?
Yeah. Any extra tickets?
Probably including the night chaperone.
We'll chaperone. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject L, extension of food service contract with Sedesco for 25-26 school year. Motion to authorize the administration to extend the contract with the Sedesco for the 25-26 school year for the purpose of providing food service management.
So moved.
Support was Barb.
Yes.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. I don't have a spot to write that. That's okay. Subject M, teacher probationary status for the 25-26 school year. Motion to grant probationary status to the attached list of teaching staff for the 25-26 school year.
Moved.
Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Foster. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject N is the ratification of the Jefferson Transportation Association contract. Motion to ratify the master agreement between Jefferson School District and the Jefferson Transportation Association from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2027. Mr. Bojarro, supported by Mr. Barton. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject O is the extension of the contract for Leanne Vaslow, part-time elementary curriculum and instruction director. Motion to extend the contract of employment for Leanne Vaslow as the part-time elementary curriculum and instruction director for one additional school year through June 30th, 2026. Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Bojarro. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject P is the extension of the contract for Stephanie Eby, part-time secondary curriculum and instruction director. Motion to extend the contract of employment for Stephanie Eby as the part-time secondary curriculum and instruction director for one additional school year through June 30th, 2026. Mr. Barton? Mr. Foster? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Extension of the contract for Matthew Ely, injury prevention and performance trainer. Motion to extend the contract of employment for Matthew Ely as the injury prevention and performance trainer for one additional school year through June 30th, 2026.
So moved. Support.
Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Bojarro. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject R is the extension of contract for Jody Dunn, operations and transportation supervisor. Motion to extend the contract of employment for Jody Dunn as the operations and transportation supervisor for one additional school year through June 30th, 2026. Corey, supported by Mr. Bojarro. Any discussion?
Yes, we love you, Judy.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. He's stuck. Subject S is the 24-25 financial budgets for general fund, food service, recreation fund, sinking fund, and student activity. Motion to adopt the final general fund, food service, recreation fund, sinking fund, and student activity budgets for the 24-25 fiscal year. Mr. Barton?
Support.
Mr. Foster? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Subject T, 25-26 general fund, food service, recreation, sinking fund, and student activity budget adoption. Motion to adopt the proposed general fund, food service, recreation, sinking, and student activity fund budgets for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Mr. McLaughlin. Mr. Bojarro. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. That's really whipped through that agenda. Moving on to communication, citizens.
We have none.
Okay. And administration.
All right. Deb, do you have anything to add? You already went through all your stuff. Mr. Dunn, do you have anything?
Before that stop, that was wrong, still on warranty, waiting for them to fix it. CT welding exhaust, they come back out, fix the warranty issue. They thought that they didn't fix it. So the unit, when it turns on after it rains, it pulls water in, so they still gotta come back out. We fixed that. Recreation gym floor, the floor's been refinished. Air purifiers, they've all been delivered. Things that are in progress, football ticket booth. you haven't noticed it, but it's great. Steel on the roofs and the doors are gonna be painted to match Jefferson blue. Still great, completed electrical. A1 has finished the irrigation hookup inside the booth. Still need to test it out in the field. We're still waiting on the metal gates, which are currently on back order. They should be in the next couple of weeks. The track itself, the polyurethane has been removed. Once we removed it, we noticed the asphalt had to be repaired all the way around the edges of the outside. We also had to extend the high jump area. If you've ever been out there and watched track, they actually start off in the grass because it's not long enough. So they extended that. Also, the deteriorating long jump area, they repaired, actually ground down, repaired, and replaced that. And the polyurethane that should be put down in the next couple of weeks. It's going to take a couple of days once it gets down. There's a period that you got to wait before you can get on it. That should happen in the next couple of weeks. HVAC units at Jefferson Middle School, they've all been energized. 3 units still need to be repaired. The wiring all needs to be attached permanently to the walls. Girls' locker room, we're currently finishing the painting of the trim in the office area. Once that's done, we'll pull up the benches and refinish the countertop. Chemistry lab plus they're cleaned out, freshly painted walls. We're still working on painting the cabinets because the cabinets look pretty rough, and replacing the gas valves and faucets. Fire panels and sprinkler systems. Currently waiting on a part from JCI at the Recreation Center and High School gym area. The North Greenhouse Sunroom, OBR, Ohio Building Restoration. They have begun reglazing the glass there, and they're trying to find, still trying to find a placement for the glass. Recreation Center, OBR is currently reglazing those windows also, the lowers and the uppers. Parking lot drain and sidewalk cement replacement is currently in place, or currently happening. Things that are pending, the math wing chiller. We reviewed the quotes. Looks like the cheapest quote was Service 2.0 at $24,000. That's to replace one of the rooftop condensers so that the air is up and running before the school year starts. Recreation Center, these are things that are pending. Classrooms and Recreation Center, the air and heating units are scheduled to be replaced in the next couple of weeks. They were waiting for 2 more units to come in. We're currently waiting on an updated quote to fix the air handler in the gym of the Recreation Center. Currently, we only have one of the units working. It's 100 degrees out. It's 80 degrees inside. It's working overtime, so that's going to need to be fixed. Needs to be fixed. We had a quote a couple of years ago. I don't know why we didn't get it fixed, but a couple of years ago it was like $8,000. We've asked them to relook at their quote, make sure that quote's good, and we're going to bring that was Service 2.0 also. Nobody else wanted to touch it. Roofing, obviously with the recent heavy rains, we developed a few more leaks in our deteriorating EPDM or rubber roofing. Our team's going to be going from building to building over the next couple of weeks to hopefully patch most of that up. Built their first program, this installation should start at Silk Elementary as early as next week. From there, we'll be going to north, from north to the middle school, from middle school to the high school. Transportation, we're working on servicing and preventive maintenance on all of our fleet throughout the summer. That'll be ongoing all the way up probably until school starts. So that's it. Any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you all.
Great job. Thank you for renewing me, he says. Awesome. All right, Ms. Presley.
Okay, first of all, thank you for approving our hires. We appreciate that. The first session of summer school ended today. We have our second session starting July 7th, so there's no summer school. The second session is another 2 weeks long. We had quite a few kids already this session regain some credit that they had lost during the school year. Looking forward though, in the fall, we're piloting a class, Math Lab. So kids who fail Algebra 1, for example, will take Math Lab Algebra 1 to earn their credit and relearn the foundational skills they didn't get the first time around. So they're better set for the Math Beyond rather than just earning their credit back. So we have that in place for the fall. We're going to try that out and see. Hopefully that helps improve our math across the board. The auto shop, I don't know how many were there, had its first annual auto show on Father's Day. It was a huge success. And that morning, I think they had 65 cars registered, and by the time it started, there were over 100 cars in the parking lot.
That's
It was awesome. The weather was gorgeous. I was out there. People were loving it. Everybody thought it was fabulous. So that will probably be an annual event now, not just a one time. Let's see. Oh, 2 of our students qualified for the national trap shooting tournament. I posted on Facebook when they were at the States, and 2 of our kids qualified for nationals. And then we're working on, as a staff in high school, working on making some updates to our attendance policy, code of conduct, and curriculum guide. We'll bring those to you for your approval in August. And that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Ms. Wendells for Jefferson Middle School.
Hello, everybody. Janelle can't be here tonight because he's getting married this weekend, so congratulations to him. Couple of things. Our master schedule is complete. Thank you to everyone who was able to help on that. We had an awesome summer palooza. The PTO helped. We had to move it inside because it was raining that day, but it still was pretty awesome. Congratulations to all the seniors who graduated and were able to come through our walkthrough. It was super awesome. 8th grade walkout was awesome as well. Our literacy materials for the summer backpack program were distributed and went home, and we even had some parents call and say their kid didn't bring them home. So they were able to stop by the middle school in the past couple weeks and pick those up. A couple upcoming things, open house or dates posted on Facebook. Our supply lists have also been posted for parents. Congratulations to all the new hires and to Ms. Gainer, who's moving from North to the middle school for a special ed position. And we're looking forward to next year, and wanted to give a shout out to Ms. Brown, our food service director, and her team on doing such a great job with Meet Up and Eat Up, being able to feed our kids this summer. And keep an eye on our social media to stay up to date on any changes over the summer. And I hope you guys have a good summer.
Thank you. Ms. Rosecrans.
All right. So, a couple things. Thank you for approving our new hires. We're very excited to have 2 fantastic new 2nd grade teachers. We also were looking forward to welcoming Ms. Dell over from SOAP to be our 3rd grade teacher to fill Ms. Gainer's spot. In addition, we did have some good end of the year activities, including field day. We also had our NWEA tattoo day that I might have mentioned. The kids love that. We're looking forward to making that an annual event. In addition, we did our book blast, which was an opportunity for kids to get books in their hands. We raised nearly $7,000 and got nearly 700 books to kids to take home, which was really fantastic. In addition, we had our Hot Dogs and Happening event, which was really great. It was an opportunity for families to hear about our shifts in instruction and to get an idea of those updates. And I had a fantastic group of staff that I offered the opportunity to collaborate and do some co-planning for next school year. And I had 10 staff members come out that I wanted to shout out because they spent 7 hours planning with me this summer to get things up and running for PTO, committee work, and just roll out activities and things for the next school year. So I wanted to thank Ms. Nolan, Mrs. Splan, Ms. Little, Ms. Fackelman, Ms. Stern, Ms. Malozic, Ms. Zarenka, Ms. Burke, Ms. Wendells, and Ms. Langton for joining me to collaboratively plan. And we look forward to a great summer and an awesome school year coming up. Thank you.
Awesome. Am I missing anybody?
Good evening, everyone. So we wrapped up the month of June with just a ton of activities celebrating our students. So on June 4th, we had our field day, and Mr. Moody did a fantastic job planning all of the activities. We had we had 57, I believe, parent volunteers for that day, so that was really great. And then he had 15 stations that the students were able to rotate through, including like a water station with ice cream and then a ton of water activities, and they really liked that because it was such a nice day. Then on the 5th, our family picnic, how could I forget that? So we had our family picnic, and I was gung-ho on having it outside no matter what, and then of course it started raining at like 3:30. So Mr. McLaughlin happened to walk in the office, and I'm like this on my table, like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? So we moved everything inside, and it still turned out okay. My heart wasn't as happy if it would have been outside, but it's fine, we rolled with it. So we still had 300 and I believe 26 people come out. That's like parents, kids,
in our building in siblings. So I was super excited about that. And then on the 9th, we had our middle school band come and perform for us. And they did a wonderful job. Mr. Vincent's so fantastic. So it was nice because a lot of those kids I had when I taught kindergarten. So it was neat to see them as middle school students. And then on the 10th, we had our move up day to North. So big thank you to Jen and Vanessa for allowing our group to do that again. A lot of our first graders, believe it or not, they do get super anxious making that move because most of them have been with us since preschool, and to move everything they're familiar with to a new building with new staff and just a whole new like dynamics, they get very anxious about that. So it's great that you guys allow us to do that, and the kids had a great time and so did the staff. So a big thank you to them. And then let's see. Oh, we do have our kindergarten boot camp. That's going to be August 4th through the 14th, and it runs Monday through Thursday from 9 to noon. And a big thank you to Jen Proud. She is going to be providing breakfast and lunch for those kindergarten boot camp kiddos. And registration is going on live right now. Everything was mailed out. They can scan a QR code and then it registers them automatically. So it was a great time last year, and it really did help those kiddos get familiar with our building and see the classrooms and kind of just learn basic maintenance skills on how to behave in a classroom. So that was super helpful. So we're hoping to have a bigger turnout next year, and then or this coming fall. And then lastly, just our open house is August 27th from 5 to 6:30 at the Sleep in our building. So thank you, everyone. Have a good summer.
Great. That's it?
Okay.
All set?
Closing comments from the board?
I just want to welcome all the new hires and previous ones. Congratulations to the transportation department on your new contract. Jody, all the contracts that have been renewed, and I appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you. Have a good summer.
Ladies, as always, thank you. It's summertime, but always still work to do. You know that, so let's continue to keep that going, and just hearing good stuff. Like each one of you said something about, we're gonna do this annually. That's what we're looking for. That is honestly stuff that I'm looking for. The busing, awesome. Also, ladies, getting air conditioning, it's starting to feel better each year, I hope, right? Jody's doing a great job getting everybody, it just warms my heart knowing that it's starting to feel cool. It's feeling awesome. Awesome. Jody, good job, man. Boy, that's a lot of stuff. Keep on top of it. Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Other than that, new hires, welcome, and
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Pickens. Jody, like I said, we love you. Keep up the good work. I know you've been working your tail off trying to get things done. I know when I drive by North, I always see someone over there working or doing something, so. Bus drivers, and the agreement, that's great. Other than that, the family picnic turned out awesome. Kids had a blast. I actually won a prize, which was nice. I usually don't win anything, but other than that, just kids are already enjoying the summer, and hopefully you guys are as well.
Shane. All right, welcome to the new hires. Glad to have you aboard. Hopefully we're giving out a lot of longevity checks, because that's what we strive to do. We just determined that this is a great reward. We love it. But and Bruce, dude, missed you. Let's go. Now, glad to have you back, Mr. Pickens. That's awesome. Jody, dude, this place is top notch, man. Can't say enough. Awesome stuff. Congratulations to the bus drivers. Yeah, you guys are our limo drivers, man. You get our friends to and from safely. That's what we're supposed to do. And admin, come on, you guys are getting such good feedback in the community on everything you guys are doing. All the events that are going on in the schools, people are raving, and that is the things that make people want to be Bears. Can't say enough. Your teachers and staff are all, I mean, in 2.5 years, 0 complaints in a long time. So it's really nice to not hear. But no, thank you guys. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. So thank you guys all. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what everybody said. Thank you for everything. Congratulations to all the new hires, Jody, Coach Pitt. Admin, thanks for your reports. Congratulations to the bus drivers. I know it's been a long journey for this contract. It's been a long process and glad it was able to work out. Thanks to John Brown from Food Services for the meetup on Wednesdays for all the young kids, for the food. I know last Wednesday was rough, a lot of rain, people came in soaking wet, so, thank you for that, appreciate it.
Welcome, new hires. Welcome back, Bruce. Jody, thank you for that report. Always good to hear. Administrators, thank you. I don't want to end this meeting on a somber note, but I do want you guys to all keep the families of the 3 teens that were tragically lost last week in your prayers. It's an awful event that happened, and it's shook the community. And I would just like to keep those families in our prayers, and the teachers and the students that all knew them so well. Other than that, enjoy your summers. And Amy, do you have any closing comments?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
Motion to move the regular board meeting be adjourned.
So move. Support.
Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Pajaro. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. We are adjourned at 6:36.
I kept my mouth shut.
I do too. Literally, she deserves a raise just for.
Don't say that out loud. It's a lie. That was live. It's recorded at 1:44.
Yeah, you recorded that, Shane.